Could you unpack that argument for our listeners, why it's important to read these old figures and not just pick up the latest economics textbook?
Thank you for that. That's fascinating. Actually, I think that's true in so much of life, and reading political theory, reading law, reading philosophy, or anything. The title of the essay is called "Why Read the Classics in Economics," and I was very much influenced by a professor of mine named Kenneth Boulding. If the listeners don't know him, please look him up. He is the second John Bates Clark Medal winner, which is the highest award that can be given to an economist under the age of 40. The first winner was Paul Samuelson. The second winner was Kenneth Boulding. But at that very time, Samuelson was publishing his Foundations of Economics. And Kenneth Boulding wrote in the Journal of Political Economy, one of the flagship journals of our profession, a critical review of the book. And he argued that Samuelson's mathematical economics may prove to be too flawless to help us in understanding the human condition, whereas the literary vagueness at the borderland of economics and sociology may prove to be more fruitful scientifically. Among the early John Bates Clark Medal winners, Boulding is the only one not to be given the Nobel Prize. Yeah. He went on to have a very illustrious career, was president of the American Economic Association, all these things like that, but he was always viewed at an arm's distance after he put that. In the mid-70s, he wrote a paper called After Samuelson, Who Needs Smith? And this is where the story kicks in. Yeah. Because what he argues in there is that we all do. Because not all that is good in Adam Smith is contained in Samuelson. And in fact, he argues there's still things to learn by wrestling with what Adam Smith dealt with that move us beyond what Samuelson did. And this is what in the literature is called a contra-Whig story, right? So rather than the idea of Whig history, whereas history is written by the victors, this is history that takes into account those who have been pushed aside and everything like that. And that it turns out that there's still things to learn from this. And what he calls that the extended present, that Adam Smith still speaks to us today as part of an extended present, because by wrestling with his ideas, we can make progress on scientific programs today. And so my view is that a large part of what went wrong with economics is that we lost touch of a lot of ideas that could help improve and lost perspective.